All right, everybody, peace. Welcome to the STBY Basketball Show, wherever or however you're listening. We're so grateful to have you with us. As you guys know, I'm Sean Cottle, and I want to apologize in advance for the technical difficulties we're having with our live stream right now. For some reason, our overlays and our graphics aren't showing up right now, but the show must go on. Um, we got some very interesting topic to discuss with you guys today, and there's some breaking news coming out of the NBA. That being that All NBA guard James Harden once again has been traded from the LA Clippers to the Cleveland Cavaliers in exchange for All Star guard Darius Garland. And we're not going to waste any time, guys. We're going to go ahead and get right into the topic. But before we get started, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, so you guys can stay up to date on all our latest content that we post daily. And if you'd like to gain exclusive content from us over here at Sorry to Bother You, you can do so by going to patreon.com, clicking on the search bar, and typing in Sorry to Bother You Show. That way you can gain access to all of our exclusive content that we post daily. That being said, guys, let's go and get right into it, okay? Like I said, breaking news coming out of the NBA today with James Harden being traded from the LA Clippers to the Cleveland Cavaliers in exchange for Darius Garland. And this comes as a surprise to many people in the NBA circles because the Clippers, though they got off to a slow start, have been one of the hottest teams in the NBA over the past month. And James Harden is currently averaging 25 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds, while shooting 40% from the field. All-star numbers, while Darius Garland is also having all-star caliber season with the Cleveland Cavaliers also getting off to a slow start, but once again, over the past 3.5 weeks, they've been one of the more consistent teams in the NBA. So the question becomes, why has James Harden once again requested a trade while his team is in the midst of reaching their peak this season? My perspective, I believe that James Harden feels that he does not have a legitimate chance of winning a championship with the LA Clippers roster currently constructed as it is. We have to remember that Bradley Beal is also on this LA Clippers team, but is out for the season due to a hip injury, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong about that, one of you guys can correct me. And James Harden feels that he's not capable of winning a championship with this LA Clippers team. My question becomes, if you don't feel like you can win a championship with the Clippers roster, that tells me that you know that you're not capable of being the best player, or maybe even the second best player on the championship level team. Because if James Harden feels that he can be the best player or the second best player on championship level team, then he would have stayed with the Clippers, because with the roster currently constructed as it is, I believe that the Clippers have a legitimate chance of playing for the Western Conference, or winning the Western Conference. So what this really tells me is that James Harden perhaps knows his space. He knows where he's at this point in his career, and perhaps he's accepted that, and he knows that he can no longer be the best player, the second best, or perhaps even the third best player in a championship level team. Now the question becomes, why the Cleveland Cavaliers? And this starts to become less about the players and more about the organization and the teams. Because if you're the LA Clippers, reports said that they were working with James Harden to find a good fit for him, as well as a trade that would benefit the Clippers also. So for the Clippers, and Cleveland approached you with this trade for Darius Garland, by all means you take this, because if you're the Clippers, you get rid of a large contract with James Harden, you lower your salary cap, and you get younger at the point guard position, and you still get an elite all-star, quite possibly fringe all-NBA talent with Darius Garland. So you get younger at the position, and quite frankly, you get better. At this point in their careers, Darius Garland is a better player for a championship level team than James Harden. And so if you're the Clippers, you get better. Now the question becomes, why would the Cleveland Cavaliers accept this trade for James Harden? What this tells me is that the Cleveland Cavaliers aren't entirely sold on winning a championship this year. They're not entirely sold on winning a championship this year. And the reason I say that is because they're willing to give up Darius Garland, who is playing and having a great season alongside Donovan Mitchell. This tells me that they're willing to sack a player during the offseason by bringing in James Harden. So by pairing Donovan Mitchell with James Harden as your talents, the Cleveland Cavaliers feel that that's enough to bring in another all-star level player, all NBA player. And the question now becomes, in terms of basketball, in terms of winning, do the Cleveland Cavaliers get better right now with James Harden on their roster? And the answer to that is quite simple. It's no. The Cleveland Cavaliers do not get better right now as their roster is currently constructed with James Harden on that roster. Because some of the issues that people have with Darius Garland being paired with Donovan Mitchell, the ball. And just off of what we've seen from both these players, you're more likely to move Donovan Mitchell off the ball because you know he's capable of doing that based on what you've seen at previous instances in his career. So if you're Cleveland, do you necessarily get better from this trade? As of right now, no. But let's ask that, does it dominate the ball as much as James Harden does? And I say James Harden dominates the ball, but he does do so at a proficient and an efficient rate. So it's understandable why James Harden is allowed to dominate the ball. So if you're the Clippers, you absolutely get better from this trade. If you're Cleveland, you do not get better as of right now, but let's see if that answer changes 6-7 months from now. Cleveland is currently now vying for that top seed in the Eastern Conference, while the Clippers are in a resurgence and they're battling back up into playoff position for the West. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Is this a good trade for either team? Why do you think this trade was allowed to happen? And also, how does this trade impact James Harden's legacy, his career, and how we look at it? We have to understand that it's okay for us to reevaluate players in real time. Sometimes we get stuck. Our mindset gets stuck in what we already view or how we already view certain players. So if we already view a player as a top 35, top 30 player, it's very hard, very difficult for us to move that person down or up because in our mind that player is already placed in this position. But we have to allow ourselves to have a more fluid mindset when it comes to these constructions of where we see and how we view players' legacies, because things change over time and things change season by season, and that's totally okay. So how does this trade impact James Harden's legacy? Let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. But with that being said, guys, that's it for our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a wonderful show. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, so you guys can stay up to date on all the latest content that we post daily. We'll be back again on Friday, guys, with another Sorry to Bother You show. Until then, continue to stay safe, be vigilant, make smart